My name is Levin Santiago, and this is my Advanced Session Recording Producer Podcast. The producer I want to talk about today is none other than the RZA. The RZA is the de facto leader of the Wu-Tang Clan, and he is one of the most inspiring figures in hip-hop music in history. The reason that I find the RZA so inspiring is because he's a producer in both senses of the word. And when I say that, I mean that he is a beat maker, but at the same time, he is also a producer that he's the man who guided the Wu-Tang's creative process and the man that really built the model for what the Wu-Tang Clan was to become. And eventually, it became what it is. It's one of the best rap groups in history. The thing about the RZA that I find probably the most inspiring is that he made all the beats for Enter Wu-Tang Clan while still being able to control a majority of the creative process. Because I imagine from a producer's perspective, having to rein in just one artist is tough enough when they're having creative spurts going all over the place, and you have to really rein them in, and the end goal being a record. But RZA had to do that for 7 of the most eloquent hip-hop minds of the time. Not to mention himself as well, as he was also a member and performer of the Wu-Tang Clan. And I imagine that can't have been easy, being in a room with 8 rappers and trying to get them all to agree on one vision. Probably the thing I admire the most about the RZA is no doubt his dedication and his endurance in the music industry. Enter Wu-Tang came out in 1993. He produced the whole record, did the beats, was the producer on every track, guided everybody. But then after that, the Wu-Tang Clan split up to all do solo albums in all different places. But the RZA stayed with everyone. He was a producer on everybody's albums. He made the beats for everybody's albums. He was doing the same thing he was doing with the Wu-Tang Clan, but separately on 7 solo albums, including his own. And that's so impressive, because when you think about it, that was, just from a beatmaker's perspective, he must have done about 150 beats over the course of 4 years before Wu-Tang Forever came out. And from any beatmaker's perspective, that's incredibly impressive. Not to mention the fact that he had to be in the studio what must have been all the time, being a guiding light for all of his clan members on all their solo albums. Like, it's just inspiring. And the fact that all of them came out fantastic, and all of them managed to sound different. I'm sure that was part of the RZA's plan, to give everybody a unique vibe. Method Man has a more, bare bones vibe, where he really focused on the essentials, and his kicks are really fat, but and his drums are really solid, but he doesn't go to all that extra stuff. Ghostface Killah has a really old school, almost R&B vibe to him. ODB was a really hardcore person in general, so of course the RZA knew this, and his vibe, he's got electric guitars, he's got those really sharp kicks. His style is a lot more hardcore than everyone else's. And when you're a producer for 7 other artists, it's awesome that you can be a creative force to make them all sound unique and different. And it's inspiring, really. When you think about what a producer is, it's like I've been saying this whole time. They're someone who has to guide creativity to an end goal. And when you're a clan master like the RZA, and you gotta be a leader to some of the best rappers in history, and you can rein them all in and make them one of the best groups in history, then that's amazing in its own right.